A battle so intense that survival seemed impossible, a place where a handful of warriors held back an entire empire, defying death at every turn. What if I told you this isn't a myth, but a true story? In the summer of 1522, an enormous threat loomed over the tiny island of Malta. The powerful Ottoman Empire, led by Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, had set its sights on this strategic outpost in the Mediterranean. With over 200 ships and 40,000 men, the Ottomans launched one of the most ambitious and brutal sieges of the 16th century. But Malta wasn't undefended. Standing in their way were the Knights of St. John, a small but highly trained order of Christian warriors who had taken a vow to defend Europe against Islamic expansion. Their Grand Master, Jean de la Valette, knew the odds were grim, but he was determined to hold his ground, no matter the cost. As the Ottoman fleet approached, the people of Malta and the Knights prepared themselves for what would be a desperate fight for survival. The Ottomans began their siege with a relentless cannon barrage, aiming to shatter the fortifications and break the defenders' morale. The air was thick with smoke, and the sound of cannon fire filled the island as walls crumbled and debris scattered. But the Knights, though vastly outnumbered, refused to be intimidated. The Ottomans launched a series of massive assaults. One by one, they targeted Malta's key fortifications, including Fort St. Elmo, which lay across the Grand Harbor. For weeks, Ottoman cannons relentlessly bombarded the fort, reducing it to rubble. The Knights and Maltese soldiers within fought on despite the destruction. Every time the Ottomans breached the walls, the defenders countered, engaging in fierce hand-to-hand combat. The battle for Fort St. Elmo was brutal, with both sides suffering horrendous casualties. In the end, the Ottomans managed to capture the fort, but their victory came at a staggering cost. Thousands of Ottoman soldiers lay dead, a loss that would haunt them for the remainder of the siege. Emboldened by the fall of St. Elmo, the Ottomans intensified their assault on Malta's central stronghold, the fortress of Birgu. Yet, the Knights held firm, drawing strength from their leader. De la Valette personally joined the defense, fighting alongside his men despite his age. He rallied his forces with speeches, reminding them of the purpose of their order and the faith that bound them. The defenders endured bombardments, attacks by fireships, and surprise assaults. Each night, they rebuilt the walls and prepared for the next attack. Supplies dwindled, and hunger and thirst took a toll on both the Knights and the Maltese people. Disease spread rapidly among the defenders, but they continued to fight, knowing that every day they held out was a day closer to possible reinforcement. The Great Siege of Malta was over, and the island's defenders had achieved an astounding victory. This wasn't just a military triumph, it was a symbolic one, showing Europe that even the most powerful empire could be halted. The Knights of St. John became legends, and Malta itself came to symbolize resilience and defiance against impossible odds. If you're fascinated by epic battles and heroic stands, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. What historic siege would you like to explore next?